Greetings, folks. This is Xiao-Fury. And this will be a second audio about Disney's Proud Family. And its tagline is louder and prouder. Because if the show wasn't woke enough, it's letting you know that we are double woke. As you may have heard in the other audio, I tend to believe that the first cartoon was woke and very insulting to blacks, but I'm making a second audio because there is another thing that they added to this cartoon. You know, it's Disney's constant push of homosexuality in their cartoons. So there was a character I saw in the little previews I was watching. He's a dude, and he has like pink braided hair, and you know, he's very effeminate. And of course, in a lot of black neighborhoods, especially when I was growing up during high school in these black neighborhoods, it is very typical that you will find a black group of girls, and in that group of girls there will be an effeminate teenager. And an effeminate man, that is. And it seems like Proud Family is doing just that. Of course, they included a homosexual teenage boy. And it gets worse. There's another new character who has two dads. And I don't know what the homosexual community obsession is with biracial homosexuality. It's gross. I don't care what color it is. There was a segment where, in the episode where the teenagers are protesting against the cops because they want reparations, and the black partner screams to the white partner, "Hey, use your white privilege." You know, admittedly that is a little bit of a chuckle, but in the end it's really not funny, because it's just like, what white privilege? Shucks, there is none. If anything, if I was a liberal black idiot, I could definitely just go around saying that everybody is racist, and they will probably throw money at my feet to shut me up. But that's evil. That's the whole bottom line. That's evil. I don't believe in blackmailing people. So, of course they would add in homosexuality to the Proud Family cartoon, because the homosexual movement has hijacked black history, which is really American history. And the reason is because they needed a movement. They needed something to make them a quote-unquote protected group or a minority group, so that they can get their own pair of civil rights. And this might sound a little bit controversial, what I'm about to say. But looking back, I really wish black people didn't get civil rights. Why? Because all we needed was a law book for everybody. No special rights because, you know, I'm black. No special rights because I'm a woman. It's just like we needed a law book that was fair for everybody. And the most fair book there is for males and females is the Word of God. Now, the Constitution is based off of Christian principles, so that's about as good as it's gonna get, but thank God that he gave us the Word of God anyway. But this is why the homosexuals now are in bed, and almost literally in bed, with the black community. They needed to have the I'm sorry to say it like this, but they needed the victim status. Because you know, a lot of black grifters are always saying that they're a victim of some sort of racism, when it's usually not the case, because there were so many instances when a black person would cry that somebody wrote the N-word on my locker. Somebody said the N-word while I was playing basketball. And of course, there's usually no evidence behind these statements. But, you know, they would just find a random white person and punish that person. This is just playing the victim. And the dangerous part is when you play the victim, innocent people get charged and put in jail or even prison or harassed. But I digress. The homosexual movement sadly has infiltrated what we know to be black history. I say it like that because after watching that clip of Morgan Freeman when he was talking to the Jewish guy, I think he was the reporter from 60 Minutes, and the Jewish guy, he was like, black history, saying those two words. I guess he was thinking that Morgan Freeman was going to just start crying and gushing, and he was going to give an elaborate speech about what it means to him. And yet Mr. Freeman completely shot him down, pretty much saying that he doesn't want a black history because black history is American history. Yes, slaves were used in the building of this country, but we were eventually freed, my ancestors. And it was the Democrats who constantly kept fighting to put us back in chains, my ancestors, that is. And today they're still trying to put us in slavery, just not like how it was in the past, where there were whips and chains and forced labor. What they're doing today is even worse. It's just like they're lying to this generation of blacks. And by doing so, they're kind of doing what I would call reverse racism or even reverse slavery. Because just like in that hideous episode or the preview that I seen of the Proud Family, when they were making all that noise about reparations and slaves built this country, the last thing that was said in that pointless puff piece, the girl was like, "We want our freedom." That was the last words of their little play. You have your freedom, stupid. Now, I don't know if black people are voice acting for those characters, but if you didn't have your freedom, how are you voice acting? How are you in Hollywood? How are you in Disney? Disney, a very evil but very wealthy corporation. You dummies, you have your freedom. You're wasting your freedom. You are absolutely putting yourself into slavery because you're believing lies, because you want money. For the love of money is the root of all evil, says the word of God. Or reparations. How about get a job? Shucks. Use your freedom and get a job. Okay. All right. Let me calm my nerves. I am driving after all. So, that's all. I wanted to just make mention of the LGBT mess because I think it's important to bring that up. And I'm going to have to make some more audios about what's been going on with the LGBT movement. If many of you remember me at DeviantArt, I used to post almost every day about this topic, warning that it would come down to these days. And here we are. So to God be the glory. His word is prophetic. But pray, and let us please protect our children because they are under attack. This LGBT movement is after them with a vengeance, but we'll talk about that soon, I hope. So thank you all for listening, and I will talk to you all soon.